Hello, and welcome to today's webinar covering SugarCRM's acquisition of Salesfusion and what it means for you. I'm Martin Schneider with SugarCRM. Just want to talk a couple quick housekeeping notes before we begin. All attendees will be in listen-only mode. That means you're all muted. If you have a question at any time during the course of this webinar, just type them in that little question box down there on your console, and we'll get to them at the end of the broadcast. Okay, now, I want to quickly introduce the speakers and then get to the agenda. With us today is Logan Henderson, who's the General Manager of Marketing Automation at SugarCRM. That's a very new title for him. Previously, he was CEO at Salesfusion, our latest acquisition. And also with us is David Campbell, VP of Product Marketing at SugarCRM. Welcome, guys. Thanks for taking the time today. Now, a quick agenda overview. We're going to talk about Salesfusion and what it is, how it can help your organization, what it's all about. We're also going to talk about why Sugar and Salesfusion together, why this acquisition makes sense for businesses like yours. And then we're going to have a quick panel discussion where we answer all your questions. So with that, I wanted to kick it over for an intro to Salesfusion to Logan. Logan, why don't you take it from there?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for the intro, Martin, and thank you for everyone on the phone for joining us today. So in a quick summary to kind of kick everything off, Salesfusion provides the all-you-need marketing automation solution designed to supercharge marketing efficiency and productivity. We've done this with a powerful tool set that includes highly intuitive campaign builders, advanced automation, and superior reporting. And we focus on what matters most to marketers: streamlining campaign creation, understanding engagement, improving conversion, and ultimately driving more revenue for your business. Salesfusion is highly regarded by industry analysts such as Gartner and Forrester, and has been recognized for our capabilities in campaign creation, reporting, CRM integration, and most importantly, ease of use. We've designed a platform to optimize engagement throughout the entire buyer's journey, delivering personalized, relevant content at the right time. We automate the end-to-end process from the very top of the funnel and the first time an individual visits your website, all the way through opportunity management and closed-won revenue so that you can truly understand which programs work best for your business. This helps establish marketing's credibility with sales by sending leads that turn into opportunities and continuing to nurture those customers long after the sale to drive adoption and retention. Now, this slide is a lot. I'll caveat it with that. And it's really meant to show a checklist of features and functions included in the platform and broken down into 5 main phases of the journey: capture, nurture, score, align, and measure. These features are all great standalone, but the true value of the platform is when all this functionality seamlessly works together, delivering enterprise-grade marketing programs without the high total cost of ownership of running a legacy enterprise-grade system. Consolidating these features into one system empowers marketers to execute on campaigns and access data without being reliant on outside consultants or a third-party tool. And with our native integration to CRM, and most importantly now SugarCRM, we can help drive sales and marketing alignment. It's important to note that we've also built all this on an architecture meant to support enterprise requirements with auto-scaling servers, high-performance search, data warehousing, and an international data center presence. I've spoken quite a bit about the platform, but at Salesfusion, we know that marketing success depends not just on technology, but also on expertise, process, and people. We make enterprise-grade marketing accessible to everyone with the only no-fail approach to marketing automation, and we pioneered a deployment alternative called software with a service, or what we've kind of dubbed Do It For Me, that allows customers to take advantage of our in-house marketing automation consultants. This allows a customer to focus on what they know best: their business and the assets needed to engage prospects and customers, while the Salesfusion team implements and operates the platform, continuously providing the marketer expertise about the business process and best practices of marketing automation. Of course, as the former CEO of Salesfusion and the new GM of the marketing automation footprint, you'd expect me to say our strategy and products are great, but what we really care about is feedback from our end users. This is some data from G2 Crowd, the leading peer-to-peer review site, and has Salesfusion head and shoulders above the competition. From the features required to support their business to the ease of setup and the quality of support, we outrank our top competitors. We found a common goal with the team at SugarCRM for delivering a superb customer experience, and we're incredibly excited about the combined platform and the road ahead.
Great. Well, thanks, Logan. That's a lot of information. I'm sure we'll get some great questions on that. Now, David, why don't you talk to us a bit about why Sugar and Salesfusion and what makes this merger so great?
I think in order to understand how we got here and what our vision is for both Sugar, the core legacy products, as well as Salesfusion, I think it helps to kind of look at history and how the CRM market has evolved. So if you go all the way back to the origins in the 90s when CRM really started to take off, I think you'll agree that most of the legacy CRM systems were really set up to help managers. The idea was to take all the information that was in individuals' heads or in their Rolodexes and centralize them into a system so that management could keep track of customers and keep track of their employees and know what was going on. And the promise to management at that time was really a 360-degree view of customers and the ability to hold people accountable for the progression through the marketing pipeline or through the sales process or through customer service. A lot of money was invested in these systems, and they took a long time to implement and were quite costly. The issue is that there was a pretty low benefit to effort ratio. And the reason I say that is because those historical systems were very data hungry. You had to feed them a lot of information about what was going on, and that all fell to end users to do. So the data entry overhead was onerous, as well as the ability to find that information once you put it in. So the worst part about this is for end users, the folks who actually had to do this, they really got no more value out of that tool than they put in. So any kind of information that they tried to collect was no more than they already knew anyway, because they're the ones who had to enter the information. And sometimes that information couldn't be found, so that value payoff was even less. And that led really to poor adoption among end users. And without user adoption, that data quickly becomes stale, becomes incomplete, and that compounds the problem. And that really led to kind of a failed value promise, because in the end, management didn't get their 360 view, and employees did not get anything that really helped them do their job better. So what our vision of is really around expanding this notion into what we call a customer experience management platform. And that's really the collection of systems and processes that a company should use to track, oversee, and organize every interaction that they have with a customer and the organization throughout the entire customer journey. That sounds a bit like CRM, so let me distinguish between those two things. So in customer experience management, the focus is really on the people, not the data. You're focusing on the interactions that you're having with customers and how to maximize those interactions in order to achieve a business result. So that forces you then to view everything from a customer's perspective. You have to look at every possible engagement that you're having with customers and discover how you can maximize that in order to create not only customers, but lifelong customers, ones who are delighted with your service and who are so happy about it that they tell other potential prospects about you, and they create other customers. And that really is the whole goal of this, is to manage those customer experiences in order to shape the relationship. So in other words, really good CRM is an outcome of managing customer experiences really well. So the way we envision this happening is we have our vision for a modern customer experience platform. And the idea behind that platform is it's not only incorporating the latest technology and best practices, but it's a fundamentally different design philosophy that puts all of those learnings at the service of front-end users whose job it is to actually work with customers. These users have developed very, very high expectations. If you think about the evolution of the internet and technology, we believe that a modern customer experience platform addresses user expectations through 5 key technology modifiers. And the first of that is user experience. So with legacy CRM, pretty much at that time, all business applications had tabs along the top and menus down the side, and they all can kind of conform to that experience. And the thing is if your job is selling to a few large customers, that requires a very different user experience than if you're a call center agent who talks to 30 customers in a single day. So what we're designing, we're interested in user experiences that understand the user, her role, the process, and the job that has to be done, and how we fit into that job in order to provide the right information at the right time before that user even asks for it. The second aspect of the modern platform is mobile. So we think of mobile as being the first consideration for how we design products, and we look at it as being deeply integrated into the experience. Increasingly, people expect to be able to use their customer experience or their CRM from any device. They expect ubiquitous access, and they expect first-class access, so the ability to do almost any activity from any device. So modern customer experience platform really needs to meet people where they are, regardless of their location, their application, or device. The third aspect is the cloud. Just like the subscription economy, modern customer experience platforms live in the cloud. The cloud makes it easier to deploy, makes it easier to update the software, and it strips away the complexity and allows businesses to focus really on their core objectives rather than focusing on IT infrastructure and management. But embedded within that idea is that a modern customer experience platform must be secure, private, and performant on the cloud. And the fourth aspect is really around data. Today's knowledge worker grew up on the internet. They're accustomed to having the world's information at their fingertips. They're used to being able to go to Google, enter a barely coherent phrase into the search bar, and get back usable results. Sugar believes that legacy CRMs have not really kept pace with that kind of user. Legacy CRMs are information hungry. They're constantly requiring the feeding of data, and the payoff for that effort, as we discussed, is very, very low. So this is why there's poor adoption. Modern workers are simply not satisfied with that kind of system. So our vision of the modern platform is that through data augmentation and analytics, the modern platform produces more information and insight than the data was actually put in. And then the final aspect of that is if you're sitting on top of all of that data, and your storage and computing resources in the cloud are cheap, relatively speaking, then AI and machine learning are the natural extensions of that, the ability to really harness that information. True AI doesn't really need someone to tell it what they need. It decides what is useful all on its own. So our vision is of a system that provides customer insights and answers questions about customers before you even know that you should ask that question. So how does that look in terms of a technology architecture? Our vision of a customer experience platform really builds up on a set of reliable, ubiquitous services. And we found the very best answer for that in the market is Amazon Web Services. It provides not only hosting, but a set of infrastructure services, including things like geographical distribution, ease of dynamically deploying additional resources, AI engines and services that can be leveraged. It provides things like this so that applications that leverage it can have a platform that is proven every day in the world's very largest e-commerce platform. On top of that, we built a unified customer data platform that not only enables our application, but any application that needs access to information about customers. We make that available through application programming interfaces, and then we build on top of that reporting and analytics, and then core platform services like cloud services, mobile, workflow automation, and collaboration. And then on top of that sits the three major pillars of customer experience. If you think about the organizations that are most involved with customer experience, it's marketing, sales, and customer service. So we build out applications on top of that, and then we feed those applications with the ability to provide intelligent, proactive insight. So this whole notion of being able to leverage that data and discover and present insights in the customer data before you have even actually thought of the question. And then all of this is presented to users in an omni-channel experience, meaning that no matter what your device, no matter what your location, you're able to access this information and these capabilities from wherever you are. So if you advance a slide, really, Salesfusion provides the first pillar, and arguably the most important pillar, because it's the one that actually identifies prospective customers and brings them through the process and creates sales opportunities out them. So it all starts with marketing. Salesfusion, from both a technology as well as a philosophical standpoint, the people and the technology at Salesfusion really fit into this model extremely well. So let me talk a little bit about that. One aspect is, as I say, from a vision standpoint, Salesfusion is very aligned with this model. The fact that they've built out integrations with different CRM companies, and that these integrations are treated all sort of on a first-class level, where every integration provides a similar level of support and seamlessness. When you pull back the covers on the technology, we found that Salesfusion was architecturally compatible with what we have, and our ability to expand on that integration as well as build out capabilities that span marketing, sales, and customer service, particularly from an AI or an insight standpoint, we're really very, we're going to be much easier to do on the Salesfusion platform than other alternatives that we examined. The third aspect is this focus on customer service. So if, as you Sugar customers know, Sugar is really relentlessly focused on customer service. It's why we win the PC Mag award every year for the most recommended customer CRM platform. Salesfusion has done a lot of very innovative things around managed services and being able to get users deployed quickly and actually using the system productively as a side effect of the deployment process. It's a really wonderful thing. And then the last aspect was they are an ideal cultural fit. They see things the same way. They value the same things that we do. And frankly, I mean, just speaking personally, it's been a joy to work with the Salesfusion folks. And I'm really looking forward to the things that we're going to build together. So Martin, I'll turn it back over to you, and we'll open up the panel.
All right. Well, we have a few questions coming in, and again, I just wanted to let everyone know, if we don't get specifically to the question that you've asked, we'll answer them via email afterwards. So no worries, we will get to all your questions. Now, a lot of people are asking kind of, I'll get to the simple one first. Is Salesfusion cloud only, or could it be deployed on site? Logan, I think you should probably take this one first.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So Salesfusion is a cloud-only platform, but from an integration standpoint, we can integrate with the cloud, and the on-premise solutions for SugarCRM. So no matter which system you're on, we are compatible with all configurations and all setups.
Great, great. Now, what about pricing? There's a lot of questions kind of around pricing. How does the pricing differ? I mean, most people are probably, if you're a Sugar customer, for example, you're already used to the idea of the per seat pricing that we do kind of on an individual person basis. Logan, why don't you talk a bit about how the pricing is a little different in your schema?
Of course. So Salesfusion, obviously our pricing model is a bit different than the SugarCRM pricing model in that we base the cost on the size of your marketable database. So that is going to be the number of contacts in your system that you can send an email to, essentially. So anyone who is a bad contact or who is unsubscribed, anyone that's not going to be able to be marketed to, we don't count that in the size of the database. But anyone who's in the system who is a valid and available email address is how we price. From a product standpoint, and how do we differentiate versus some other product pricing on the marketing automation side, we only have one platform. So all the features, when I put up that kind of the feature slide that has 15 different categories on it, that is all included in the one package. So what we've tried to do is not gate some enterprise features or some lower end features around two different packages. We wanted to make sure that the tool set a marketer needs to do their job effectively is the tool set we're going to deliver. And we've coupled that with our advanced analytics suite, our ads feature, which we just had our press release go out. We're a new Google partner, and you now have the ability to publish Google paid search ads directly from Salesfusion and capture ROI. So you can tie conversions all the way back to close one revenue. So a little bit different in the fact that it is not based on users, so you can have an unlimited number of users. There's no pay to play for support, so you get in-app, chat, phone, all included as part of the package, and all the features as well.
Great answer, great answer. Another one that people are asking is, I think a lot of times when companies announce an acquisition, especially of very robust and distinct functionality, they say, well, that's great, but when can I get it? The question to either of you, whoever wants to take it first, is this ready to go? Can we start? Is this already integrated? Is the integration complete? When can we access this if we're a Sugar customer, for example?
Yeah, and I'll take that one as well. And then David, obviously, if I leave anything off, feel free to chime in. But yes, the integration originally was launched 6 years ago. So we've had a strong working relationship over that 6-year period, and we have many joint customers today. So what you're going to be able to do is not only create a 360 sync between the two systems, but you're also going to be able to control which data you want to push into which system, so that if your sales team is operating exclusively in SugarCRM, they need to be able to understand the different points of engagement. They need to be able to understand the interactions the prospect is taking. And so we push that into two different areas. One is going to be a Salesfusion iframe within the platform that you're going to be able to see all that, and it very much has the look and feel of the marketing automation platform. But we also surface all of that information into tables that look and are standard Sugar tables. So you can see web activity, you can see email open activity, you can see landing page activity. So that when you go and you have a new hot lead or a new prospect, or maybe a legacy customer who's engaging with your website, you want to be able to have that information easily accessible for your sales team.
Great. That's great. A couple questions kind of around the same topic, so I'm gonna paraphrase a bit. I know there's a lot of Sugar users who might have been using our campaigns module, leads modules. How does that, what's the overlap going on? Maybe David wants to kick this one off and talk about, what Salesfusion in a sense replaces and what it complements. I mean, I think that's what people are trying to get at with a number of different questions.
Sure. So yes, there is a small amount of overlap between the marketing automation capabilities we have in the Sugar platform and those in Salesfusion. But the Salesfusion product really takes it to the next level. They have features that really just really go beyond, like campaign management, lead nurturing. They have extensive search and social tools, and they really have best-in-class reporting and analytics. These are things that it would have taken us many release cycles to even get close to parity. So what's best about this, though, is that all that advanced capability is really it's really harnessed by the same type of user interface that our customers have come to expect. It's very end user focused, as opposed to, as I said, being a management tool. So they have builders, for example, for building email campaigns or website landing pages that are literally drag and drop simple. It's about the simplest way to build very engaging content that I've ever seen. So we love what they bring to the table here. Now, in terms of Sugar's existing content, you know, if you have a Sugar license, you'll continue to get those capabilities, and we will support and maintain those capabilities going forward. You know, as we think about our roadmap and as we add new features, you know, one of the things that Sugar has to do is figure out which platforms it makes sense to expand. Most of the big kind of expansion plans will occur on the Salesfusion platform. That is definitely the marketing platform for bigger sort of visionary kind of work that we're going to do. But things that relate directly to the capabilities that are already in Sugar are things where we might make some enhancements to the existing platform.
Great. Another question that came in, and I know the answer to this because I've already been through my Salesfusion training, but can clients manage their own subscriptions? Can they choose what to unsubscribe from in that sense? Can you do kind of more granular opt-out and things like that with Salesfusion, Logan?
Of course. So we have a management center that they can choose preferences on the types of communications they want to receive, the frequency of communications. We really give the power to the end user to define the criteria, and you can run any kind of report off of that. So it's a really seamless way to make sure that if they want to just limit the types of communications, that they're not going to globally opt out of everything. So we give the ability to create preference and manage preference centers.
Awesome. Another question, a couple coming in like this. What about social media integration and social tools? What's the story there?
Yep. So we have a partnership with a business by the name of Octopost. They are a fantastic social publishing and listening and analytics tool. So we have a really strong integration with them for advanced social capabilities that really provides an industry-leading suite of functionality that is all incorporated as part of the Salesfusion platform, so that you can see click activity if you post, campaigns on LinkedIn or Facebook. All of that's going to tie back into Salesfusion, so it's accessible. So we have chosen to take a partnership approach there, given the growing, expansive network of social media platforms.
Right, and one more for you, Logan. What about are the templates for email customizable based on templates, or do you have to start from scratch? Can you do both? Can you talk a bit about that?
Yes, you can do both. So we do provide the ability to code your own template. If you do have someone with HTML and CSS experience, you can code your own email landing page templates. We also have pre-built themes that use kind of Salesfusion's best practices based on image to text ratios and layout of a platform. So we provide as much of that as possible, but then you also have the ability to create your own themes, your own templates. So when we go through the onboarding process, we actually train in your live environment, and when we're creating an email template, and training you on the email builder, you're creating assets that are going to be able to be repurposed. So you can continue to use the drag and drop functionality and make modifications on those. So there's a number of different avenues to either start from a blank slate or a pre-populated template.
Yeah, one thing I'll add to that, just from personal experience here, after the acquisition, we were up and running, completely migrated from our previous marketing automation platform within about a week. And this webinar is an example of one campaign that we've done using the Salesfusion platform. And that's going from 0 to 60 in that amount of time. We literally started from knowing nothing about it to making actionable, very, very well-run campaigns with the system. So it is, in fact, very, very easy to learn and very, very quick to deploy.
Great. Another question coming in. How is the data that gets generated or collected by Salesfusion, how is that shown in Sugar? Is it a dashlet or what levels? Contact, lead, account? So how does the data kind of render in Sugar through the integration?
Yeah, so you're going to be able to sync contacts, leads, accounts, opportunities, tasks. Those are going to be the core tables that we integrate with. And any custom field that you have within those core tables, we're going to create a corresponding field in Salesfusion automatically. So it's a little technical, but when we run the initial sync, we basically mirror the table schema of your CRM instance and create corresponding fields in Salesfusion. So every time you make a modification, we make a corresponding modification. So you don't have to worry about data integrity issues or field mapping issues. It happens automatically on the back end. So that information can be pushed into Sugar, into your instance of Sugar, and you can define which parameters, if you want to overwrite, if you want to supplement, if you don't want to make any modifications. So it's able to be configured to your liking, and it's accessible again through the standard Salesfusion contact card, or also via the iframe.
Awesome, that's great. And another kind of a quick question, just to confirm, it's possible to integrate calls to action like buttons and forms and things like that are managed by Salesfusion into any kind of web property, right? It could be your WordPress site, it could be your own website. Just confirming that was one of the questions.
Yes, that's correct. So with any kind of form that you have, any way to capture someone's information, you have the ability to embed that on a Salesfusion hosted landing page. We provide the backend code so you can drop that onto a WordPress site. A lot of different mechanisms there, and we've also enabled features to help our end users adhere to privacy compliance, such as GDPR, so that you can confirm consent, you can do double opt-in. You've got the ability to turn on and off a toggle for cookie tracking and cookie consent. So really tried to make it as seamless an experience as possible.
Great. One of the other trying to kind of put these into, because a lot of coming in on the same kind of topics. I guess one of the general things is people are asking, does this replace what I might be currently using from all the way down to a MailChimp or all the way up to a Marketo or an Acton? And I guess the answer is probably yes, but I did want to have you guys put in your how you see the replacement.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one again, and David, obviously, continue to chime in if I miss anything. So we have programs for migrating customers off of their legacy solution. You briefly talked about, David, the Marketo migration. Given the ability to that we have the ability to code your own emails and landing pages, replicating assets is a very easy process for us. All we have to do is take the core HTML code and we input it into Salesfusion through that code your own, and it renders the existing template. So the migration process off a legacy platform, whether it's a Marketo or a Pardot or an Acton or an email solution such as a MailChimp or a Constant Contact, we've got a proven methodology to help customers be successful in doing that. Because we know it can be a very daunting process, especially when you've been on the system for a number of years, and you have a lot of assets, and you have a lot of pages, and you've got a lot of forms out there. We've got white papers and ebooks on how to evaluate the transition and how do you really understand what's the scope of work. And then we've also got a professional services organization that helps with those migrations.
Awesome. Now, I think one final question, I think the rest have mostly been answered, and the other ones are a little more housekeeping, is can Salesfusion handle kind of a global consumer electronics, B2C type engagements in that type of world? Does it span the use cases of both B2B or B2C? Maybe what is it best suited for? A couple questions around that.
Yeah, of course. So yes, the platform is applicable for B2C and B2B use cases. Salesfusion traditionally as a business has focused more on the B2B side, which is why we've developed account-based marketing, Amazon Web Services, elastic environment, using advanced search functionality so that when you've got large amounts of data and large amounts of transaction volume, the system can handle it really effectively.
Awesome. One last quick one. In terms of email marketing, do you have a dynamic sender field? So if, me, Martin, is sending an email, it looks like it's coming from someone else or an alias or a group email. Is there ways to handle that in the system?
Of course. So you can send on behalf of any user in the system, and because we don't have a cap on the number of users, it can be everyone in your organization, it can be a limited subset of individuals. So you can send on behalf of someone, you can send on behalf of an alias. What we do is we authenticate your email send so that it looks like it's coming from you, but it's actually all being run through Salesfusion's proprietary email sending engine. So a really easy way to distribute communications on behalf of someone. But then we've also thought ahead to do some things like batch sending, so that if I am sending an email on behalf of Martin and it's going to 10,000 people, you don't want to have 10,000 email replies all simultaneously. So we can batch that out over a series of minutes, hours, days, however you want to kind of segment that.
Gotcha. One other question is, as we align as a global organization, some of the questions are, what about EU, German, privacy law compliance, GDPR, things like that? How does Salesfusion manage that? The Sugar users are probably well aware of our GDPR, our data privacy module, but Logan, what's the data privacy and personal information management situation with Salesfusion?
Yeah, so we spent a very long effort. Our product team is very familiar with the GDPR framework to make sure that not only Salesfusion as an organization could adhere with GDPR and privacy compliance. We're a Privacy Shield certified organization, but also creating the platform so that end users and users of the system would be able to comply with the framework, whether that is data modification, data access, having DPAs in place with customers and with third-party processors. So we've done a lot on our own accord to make sure that we can support the privacy and compliance aspects of the EU and Germany specifically in this case. But we're also going to make sure that we leverage the SugarCRM security organization. There's been a lot of effort from a SOC 2 standpoint, a GDPR standpoint. So we want to make sure that there's a seamless kind of framework that both organizations adhere to. But yes, we are fully compliant with it today.
Excellent. Well, I think that's the bulk of the questions there. I think a lot of common questions, a lot of trends there, a lot of great things. I think this is just the beginning of some fabulous things that we're going to be doing kind of together as a combined entity. I look forward to some of the great things as we go beyond the first phase of integration, really build some amazing customer experience tools out there. I did want to thank you guys both for your time. Thank you all who joined us for your awesome questions and taking the time. For more information, if you want to see a demo, you want to request a demo, you want to learn more, go to the URL that's listed here. We'll also make these slides in the presentation available to all registrants in about a day or so. So you'll be able to grab this if you don't have time to write it down right now. But there's a lot of information on that page about the new Salesfusion and Sugar combination. If you are an existing Sugar customer, contact your sales rep if you're interested, again, in a demo or learning more about how you can add Salesfusion to your Sugar instance and really start taking advantage of the great kind of closed loop, really, really dynamic marketing solutions that Salesfusion brings into Sugar. So again, thank you all so much for your time. Logan, David specifically, thank you guys so much. Again, the replay will be available soon. But as for that, I really want to thank you guys. This was great.